want to go through a couple of points with you. The most important one today, you're going to be moving off from outside your house. There's a couple of things we need to do. So in this lesson, what we're looking for is we'll be approaching lots of crossroads. Some crossroads are signal controlled. Some of them are like controlled by floor markings. Some of them may be controlled by policemen. Some of them might be just normal traffic light controlled junctions. Now, when we're approaching junctions, what we need to understand is when I speak to you, I'll give you clear instructions. I'll let you know where we're going. I'll be very clear, so I'll say at the traffic lights, turn left, turn right. I'll also, I'm quite happy to tell you twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, as many times as you need for you to understand where you're going. In this lesson, we are going to practice left turns and ahead at traffic light junctions. Now, when you're driving on a main road, the difference between driving on a main road and on a small road is the small road we are more or less in charge of. What we do, we take you into an area where we are in control. However, once we take you onto a main road, we are not in control of the environment, you are. What we mean by that is you need to be making sure that you're looking in your mirrors, you're looking around, making sure you're safe in the car, we're safe in the car. Now, in terms of junctions, there's lots of different junctions out there. I'm not going to go through all of them in this lesson today because we'll barely get moving. But what I want to go through a couple of things with you in terms of junctions. The first one is a left filter. So when we approach a set of traffic lights and I say to you...
it's the one where we come down to join the round the road, isn't it? From the previous lessons.
No.
On Hare Hills Road, Hare Hills Lane. Turning to my house on the round there. No,
that's not a filtered lane. That's just that's a filtered right turn. So this one's a filtered left turn. So for example here, if I say to you at the traffic lights turn left, you would look at where you turn left from. So you do your normal routine, you'd follow the road ahead and you'd come into this left filter. Now, do you know most learner cars, they fail when they're approaching traffic lights on 3 things. The first one is not anticipating whether the traffic lights change in colour. Now, if the light's been green for a long time, more or less it will change colour. Secondly, there's also the busy road and the less busy road to work out. So one of them will be very busy, one of them won't be as busy. So it's important that you realise which one is busy, and whichever one is busy, that will stay on green for longer. Thirdly, when you're approaching a traffic light, you need to understand where you're turning and who you need to yield to, who you need to give way to. So over here, as we're approaching, we'll come to a set of traffic lights. At the traffic lights, if the lights are amber and you are behind that line, you must stop before the line. Now usually what I do is I make sure that I can just about see the line over the front of my car. So I call it the dashboard of my car, and where that windscreen wiper clip is, I want to see the line there. Now once I can see the line there, I've got sufficient space for a vehicle behind me. For example, if an ambulance comes behind me, I can pull to the left to let the vehicle go past again. So I'm doing tyres on a tarmac with the white line. That's the first thing. Now let's say I'm coming through this junction. As I'm coming through this junction, the light goes red. Now if my wheel has gone over that line, I can continue, but now I have a giveaway line. Because I have a giveaway over here, I need to give way to anyone over here that's turning into this road, even though my lights are green. So usually that happens when you have what you call you being the lead car and this vehicle on this junction over here coming through this junction and turning right. So you would have to yield to this car and he would, and over here what we do, you'll find that in the end when you're learning to drive with us, you'll find that you'll be like a puppet on a string, literally doing exactly what we do. You'll also notice when you're driving a car, when your lessons start to progress, you will be doing observations like the person driving the car. So let's say for example you have one of your friends driving a car, you will then literally be doing like the exact same sort of observation that they do. So when they're looking left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, you'll end up doing the same. Now once you're at that stage of your driving, you'll realise that you actually see more. So once you're about here, you should be able to see if any cars are coming towards you. Once you're closer to the line, you look over there. Once you go over the line to turn left, you must, let's say you're over here, you must look to your right again. If you don't look to your right, you fail your test. Okay, now, do you know, failing the test, you know, it sounds like it's really, you know, dramatic. Failing a driving test isn't about how good or bad you drive.
Yeah.
It means there's a weakness in your driving. That's all.
Go back and...
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're lazy with your observations. It doesn't mean that you've done something really bad. All it means is you are not driving like everybody else. So, for example, if we're all speaking English in this car and you decide today to speak Swahili, well, it's not going to work because I don't speak Swahili.
Yeah.
So we all have to speak the same language when we're driving the road, and the road language is my job to help you understand.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So over here, when we turn, we don't get too close to that line. As we're turning, we make sure that we position our car appropriately for the junction that we're going in. Now, let's say, for example, we are over here and there is a car ahead of you. Now, if there's one car ahead of you, by the time he goes there, by the time you move here, he will turn. That's where most people fail their test. Remember, Amber failed on this in heat test center. Yeah, she failed on this. So it's very important that if there's a vehicle here or not, that you're looking over there, and if there's a vehicle coming over here, by the time you get there, generally speaking, you let him go. Now, these silver things on the floor, would you know what they are for?
Is it for... Well, I'm guessing, because I don't know what it means. Is it for people crossing the road?
Yeah. So it's like a pedestrian walkway. So it's like where you would walk if you're walking across the road. Now, what they'll do, now they will let you walk across like this.
That's
like
why you don't want to block that.
That's right, yeah. If you block that, you will automatically fail your test. So let's say, for example, you're driving a car and you are here and the light goes red and you stop there. You'll fail your test.
Yeah.
The reason why you'll fail your test is, well, you've gone over the line, you should have continued here.
Yeah.
Not stop there. So it's very important that if you stop behind the line or you stop there. Now, you know, most accidents that happen, in fact, not most accidents. 25 years ago, I had an accident at Sheepscot traffic lights. I tell all my pupils this because it's a learning curve, okay? 25 years ago, I was not an instructor, okay? I was just a Joey that used to drive a car really quick. Do you know, I was coming from Chapeltown, okay? I was going towards Inner Ring Road, okay? So when you come down Chapeltown, you get to the first set of lights. Now, the light sequence was if you hit one light on amber, you would get all of the lights on amber if you kept your speed high.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay? So I went quick, really quick. There was a Jaguar in front of me. Went really quick, went really quick, went really quick, really quick. Went through one amber, two amber. The third one, that looked like red to me, but I'm talking 30 years ago. Then, for some strange reason, he stopped his car in the middle of the road. I went straight into the back of his car. I wrote my car off. I wrote his car off.
Yeah.
I was going ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
Now, when you approach a set of traffic lights, there's always two sets of lights. Okay? When I say two sets, there's like two pairs of lights. So there's one light on the left, one on the right. Then over the junction, there's another light on the left, there's another one on the right. Now what they're doing is they're minimizing, because of cost of living crisis, which whatever you want to call it, what they'll do is they'll remove one of the traffic lights. But there is enough traffic light information for you there to do whatever you need to do. So when you approach a line over here, you will see a traffic light ahead across. Okay? Once you are here, that light doesn't apply to you. That applies to anyone approaching the line.
Oh, okay.
So you'll get, let's say there's 4 sets of lights, okay? So there's 2 pairs of traffic lights that are green in your direction.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are over here. Okay, so once we're over here, let me bring me here, and we're going 30 miles an hour, okay? Once we go over this line, these lights don't apply to you if they go amber. You've gone. It means you're committed to the junction. It means get off the junction. So you would continue going. Now what happened was, once we got here, that light went red. So he hit his brakes.
Oh.
I didn't think he was in his brakes because that light didn't apply to us.
Yeah, you'll never think
and
about it.
I went straight into the back of his car. I wrote my car off. I wrote his off. 30 years ago, I never went through an amber light again. I stopped it. It was unsafe. The point I'm trying to make to you is, even though I'm a reasonable driver now, I made a mistake. The mistake, I mean, I only realized it couple of years later that what kind of a silly mistake I made. But the point I'm trying to make to you, it doesn't matter how good a driver you are, you're dependent on the car in front.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some of the people, for example, if they turn and there's like an island there which shows the traffic light to people here, that people stop before
That's exactly what happened. Literally, we're going over the junction and he stopped for me. So it's important that when you're approaching traffic lights that you're aware that most accidents happen when you approach a crossroad, especially signal controlled by traffic lights. Now, if you need to stop, you need to look in your rear view mirror first. It's absolutely crucial you see what's going on behind you. Now, this one here doesn't have a cycle lane, so there's no cycle lane to worry about. So as you're approaching, you check your mirrors, signal left, come into the left lane, look to your right, move forward. Now the light doesn't apply to you. You've got to give way, make sure there's no car coming there, and then you turn. Yep. Okay, now what we've got, I'll just show you another one now. We now have a box junction. Now, if we're going ahead, I'm sure you're quite aware, we can go into the box junction as long as the exit's clear. If we're turning right, we can go into the box junction as long as the exit's clear. Other than that, usually the left lane usually is to go ahead and left. To turn right, usually the right hand side lane only. However, if it's different, there'll be sign markings on the left hand side and the floor markings. It's crucial that you look at the floor markings and any signage. If there's any signage that you need to see, it's always at your eye level when you're driving. Very rare that junctions change, but if they do, you need to be aware. Similarly, again, traffic lights here, traffic lights there. So once you go over this line and these traffic lights you go amber, if you can stop at the second line, then you are supposed to stop at the second line. But if you are going too fast, then you continue going through the junction. Okay? Now, when I say if you're going too fast, it's very, very grey area. That means you're not anticipating how the lights will work. You're more than likely fail your test, but legally you'll get away with it. Okay? So it's important that you're forward planned, you understand what you're doing. Okay, now here we've got a cycle box. Now, you are allowed to stop in a cycle box to stop you going over into the junction instead of going through the red light. You can stop here. What they call that, they call it exceptional circumstances. So you are permitted to stop there. If the light goes amber, you can stop there. You will not be penalized. However, if the traffic light is red on approach, you're expected to stop before the first line. Before the first line. The second one is called the advanced stop line. Okay, so you're supposed to stop at the first line at every given opportunity. You're only allowed to stop at the second one if the lights have gone red on approach. Sorry, the lights have gone red as you got to the first line. If you approach the traffic lights and the lights are red, you are supposed to stop at the first junction, first line there. Does that make sense? Do you understand?
Makes sense,
Okay. Here we are, we've got a T-junction over here, and we are not in T-junction, so that's irrelevant to you. Here we are, we've got a normal junction over here. So a normal junction over here is quite simple. Turning left, left lane, ahead, left lane, right lane to turn right. Now when I'm turning right at a junction, the first thing I do, I draw a line in my brain, okay? So let's say, for example, I say you won't be doing right turns in this lesson today, probably do them in your next one. Or you might actually be doing this one. So we're over here and I'm telling you to turn right at the traffic lights. I do this. Then I do this. Okay, why do I do that?
You're turning right?
Yeah.
Because there might be someone wanting to turn here.
Okay, so what I do is I've decided that's when I'm positioning my car. So what I'll do is I will move my car, let's draw another line of car, like this. I will stop there. Okay? Then your next problem is Uncle Albert brings his car and Uncle Albert wants to turn right.
Yeah.
So I should be about there, he should be about there. So he's got enough space to come round and turn right. I've got enough space to turn right. But you know where I've stopped? Why did I stop here and not stop there? So if you look at the markings, so I draw that invisible line, that invisible line, and this invisible line. Why didn't I stop there?
Because there might be someone coming from these two lanes moving.
Yeah,
if it's green light.
2 lanes or 1 lane?
Like like there's 2 lanes.
Okay, so the lane on the right, only turns right. It has a right arrow, and this one has a forward arrow. So which lane am I worried about? Am I worried about lane?
About the forward one.
Yeah, the forward one.
Because otherwise you are stopping in their way and stopping them to
Lovely.
go.
Okay, so what I've done is whenever I'm stopping my car, I try and make sure that I stop in the correct place. Now, when you're going into a junction, try and make sure that you leave enough space for the vehicle behind you. This fault always happens in hills, always. And it's not your fault, it's the vehicle in front of you. So if you are the lead vehicle, meaning the first vehicle, you need to make sure that you move into the junction and look in your rear view mirror, leave sufficient space for the vehicle behind you to come in behind you. If, however, you are the second vehicle, and let's say, for example, this car is over here, it would be irresponsible for you to stop there, because you're not going to get through. Now, it depends on what time it is, but when I'm behind a vehicle and I'm turning right, I look at what time of day it is. If it's 8 o'clock in the morning, nobody's going to let him through. If it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe there is no cars coming down here.
Yeah.
So that means he will make his turn, I will go behind him. However, if it's 8 o'clock in the morning and there's like, this line is full of cars coming down this road, then I would stop.
Yeah.
I just wait there.
And assess the situation.
Until he's moved forward. But before I move forward, I look at my traffic lights to make sure that the light is green and not going to go amber. Because once it goes amber, do you know the general consensus of these people turning right is somebody right away, I'm going to go. So you need to be careful. I'll discuss that in a second. You need to be careful when you do turn right. You need to make sure that you give yourself a wide berth. So when you turn, you want to turn like this, and you don't want to turn like this. Okay, you turn like this, you will fail your test.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's important that you make like a 90-degree turn. Try and make a 90-degree turn if you can, and try and manage this to the best of your ability. So what I've done there is I've gone into the junction, I've looked over here 1 meter away from the curb, and that's how I position my car for the right turn. Does that make sense? Do you understand
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Now the reason for that is when you're approaching a set of traffic lights, what you need to understand, when your lights go green and you're the lead vehicle, if there's anybody in the junction, you must let them clear the junction. You must. So when you approach the junction and you think, oh, there's 2 cars, I will move forward, you should not move forward until the car from here has turned into that road. Yeah. Similarly, if you are in the junction and you are here and the red car is over here and you are turning right over here, this red car should wait until you've turned. So when you're approaching a junction, what you'll also find is we used to have like a second traffic light over here. The traffic light that was over here used to tell you, so over here you'd see a traffic light. That traffic light used to tell you about your right turn. Now what they've done, they've got rid of that traffic light in most junctions. That means you'd go into your junction here, and once there's nobody moving and it's safe, you'd make your right turn rather than waiting for the traffic light. Now that I've discussed that with you, there's another thing I want to go through with you. Filtered traffic lights. Would you understand what a left filter or a right filter is?
It's the arrow going on the side or
and how does it
on
apply
the
to
other
you?
side. So if I'm turning left and it's green, I can go left.
And what if you're turning right?
If it's green on the right, I can go right.
Lovely. What if it's round and it's green? So you've mentioned an arrow, which is correct. What if it's round?
So for example,
you're not wrong. So your traffic light sequence is red, amber, then green.
Yeah.
And then green, amber, then red, obviously. Yeah. Okay. Would you understand what I mean by sequence?
It's because it goes certain way.
Do you know which the certain way it is? Did you understand it?
Oh my goodness. Annie Winterburn, how the best saying for this, but
give me an idea.
Red, orange, green, and then
so how would you, let's say I was approaching
red.
Let's say I was approaching a traffic light at 50 miles an hour. How would I know that the traffic lights are going red? The amber comes on. Because
there will be orange light on.
Yeah. So your orange light, let's call it an amber light. So,
sorry. Yeah.
So let's say it's amber, and will it then go red or will it go green?
It will go red.
Okay. How would you know it's going green?
because they'll be red and amber
Brilliant.
at
That's
the
fine.
same
That's
time.
fine. Just want to make sure you understand the sequence. That's fine, yeah. And that's what we look at. So it's important that you understand the difference in the traffic lights. Okay. Now that I've discussed that with you, I'm not going to go into any more detail as such. I think that's enough sort of junctions. Is there any question that you want to ask me before I...
Can we go over what speed I need to go on each different kind of road?
Well, what speed would you think is appropriate for the road that you're on? So if I say to you, today you're making toast at home, would you have a very particular setting that you put your toast on, or do you just put on 5 and keep checking it?
I would probably have setting on.
Well, okay, you're different to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I put it on 5 and I keep checking my toast. So I want my toast almost like biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put lots of butter on and it's black and it just tastes nice. So the point I'm making is, for me, what I do is I look at what I feel is appropriate.
Yeah.
So every road that you travel on, the maximum speed limit would be what? Do you know?
70. Like any
around here.
Around here.
Mm-hmm. What about the main road that you live on down there? If you go out of here and turn left,
so I understand 20 road is if there's like traffic calming, measures like humps and things like that on the road, and then you also need to have in the start of the road or in the middle of road some reminders it's 20 road.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go down maybe a bit wider road, it might be 30.
Okay. But your question wasn't the actual speed limit of the road. Your question, I hope, if I understood it correct, is what speed should I be travelling on that road? They're two different questions.
Yeah, I understand.
So if it's 30, how fast would you go?
I would go 30 as long as it's safe to do 30.
And what if it's not?
I would adjust my speed depending on my surroundings.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes travelling at 10 on a 30 road is acceptable. Sometimes travelling at 29 on a 30 road is acceptable. Sometimes going 30 on a 30 road is acceptable. What if it's 20? What if the speed limit's 20? What do you do? Would you travel at 20, 15, 10, 5, 30, 40?
I would travel under 20.
Yeah, okay. So your speed limit is exactly that. It's a speed limit. So try and keep your speed a little bit below, so you're not focusing too much on the speed that you're travelling at, and you're concentrating more on what you can see ahead of you. So if it's a 30 road, I'm going, now you're inexperienced, so for you it doesn't matter today. It won't matter for a lesson or two, but I would always travel around 25, 26 at the most. Give myself a couple of miles so the car picks up and adjust the speed accordingly. Let's say the speed limit is 20. I'd be doing about 12, 13, 14, 15. Once I'm experienced enough, maybe 16, 17. But give yourself enough leeway. If the car does pick up speed, you can slow it down if you need to. Yep. Do you have any more questions?
Sorry, I can't also suddenly this morning recall. So single carriageway, the speed limit
for my
is 60 or 60.
Is it?
Sorry, if you could tell me.
For my car,
I will start mixing it around.
No. First of all, are we on a dual carriageway or a single carriageway?
Single.
Okay. Are we driving a car or a van?
Car.
Okay. It's 60.
60.
What if it's a dual carriageway? A national speed limit.
That's 60 for me.
For a car.
Sorry, 70 for car and 60 for ones.
Yeah, there we are. So it's important that you realise for each vehicle that you're driving could be different. So it's important to understand all cars, every car is the same.
Yeah.
Vans are different. The bigger the van, the longer the van, the different the speed limit.
I don't think so.
That's how most people get caught out, especially on the motorway. What if you're towing something? When it's a national speed limit on a dual carriageway.
I think that was...
That comes up in your theory as well.
That it's the same as one
Yes, that's it, yeah. Okay, so what's going to happen now is we're going to move off. You and I are going to do some traffic lights together. And we're going to see how we get on. And then we'll give you a little bit of feedback in terms of how we're working on them. Yeah?
Can you also, like when we were driving, can you, for at least definitely for this lesson, just start pointing out, oh, can you see there is like change of speed, or can you see the sign?
Interesting.
Like, you know, like
where would the speed limit change?
When you join the new road.
There we are. And do you know the sign? Where would it be positioned of the road that you're going into?
At the end.
Or at the start?
Yeah.
Is there going to be one sign on the left or one on the right, or will there be two, one on the left and on the right?
One sign.
There'll be two signs, one on the left, one on the right.
Okay.
Of the road that you're going onto from the point that you would access that road. So it wouldn't be randomly outside number 22 or whatever. It would be literally, when we leave the car park, you'll see one on the left, one on the right. Unless the speed limit is the same as the speed limit you're on. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
Okay. There's one thing I need to explain to you. Not explain to you. One thing I want to agree with you, okay? Comes to my attention that sometimes you want telling earlier about where you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So let me give you a heads up. So when I say heads up, that's like a bit of a clue what I'm going to do, okay?
Yeah.
So it's a bit hard for you to understand. However, the more you're aware, the more you'll understand, okay? What we are going to do is at the end of here, we're turning left. We're then going to get to a set of traffic lights. We will be turning left. We will then get to another set of traffic lights. We will be turning right. We will then continue following that road until we go past St. James, go further down. Eventually, we'll get to another set of traffic lights. We will be turning left. We will then turn left at the end of that road. So there's quite a few left turns. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me if you think I'm giving you instructions later. I want to change this with you, okay? Because look, whatever it is, however it is, you and I need to work together.
Yeah.
So if you think that, look, just a little bit too late for me and I can't get prepared, then perhaps, Tommy tell you earlier, your examiner will as well. There's no problem.
Yeah.
You know, if you need to be told early, then you need to be told early, because look, we all do our routine at different times, and if you need longer to process, then you need longer to process.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely no issues. Now, there is one right turn you will be making near KFC. Yeah, so KFC's up there. When you turn right at them traffic lights there, you need to go into the central box. There's a box in the middle. There's an island in front of you and there's an island on the right of you. You need to be in the middle and ideally not affect traffic flow on the left. Okay, so I want you to try and fix that position, but if there's nobody coming, you can make the turn.
Yeah,
no problem.
If you can just before to say, oh, remember the island, and sort of maybe point or
I will do, okay?
Yeah.
One more thing, if I say to you there are two active lanes here, would you understand what I mean by that?
Is that, for example, when there is single way traffic and there's like two ends and you need to position yourself left or right depending where you're going?
No, if we're turning right and oncoming cars, there's two active lanes. It means you're going to encounter both before you turn. So you need to make sure both of them lanes are clear for you to turn. On your driving test...
it's like the one where we were talking about where the red car was turning and the other one was going straight.
Yeah. And what you'll find is on your driving test, you'll be turning left off Harold's Lane. You go up towards Chapeltown and you turn right on Chapeltown Road. Then you follow the road up on one of your test routes and then you'll be turning right near St. George. King George, haven't you? St. George? Is it King George?
Yeah, King George.
You'll be turning right on at King George, and when you turn right there's two active lanes that go past you, and you need to be aware that sometimes there's more than one active lane. And we'll discuss all time delayed junctions, etc. We'll discuss all that as we move your lessons on. But what I want to do now is I want to move off and I want to move on to Harold's Road. Would you know where Harold's Road is from here?
It's the one you was taking me for the other lessons.
Okay. Yeah, that
like
long road with loads of
one
shops in either one.
next to KFC.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go to the end of the road, turn left, then turn left at the lights, then follow the road up, turn right just before KFC at them lights, and then follow Harold's Road, Go ahead, go past St James. You know, roundabouts, we are going to come across, I'm afraid, a couple of mini roundabouts. Roundabouts are exactly the same as crossroads, just with a round circle in the middle. They're exactly the same. Who do you need to give way to at a roundabout?
Person on the right.
Yes. Anybody on the roundabout coming round from your right, or anybody coming onto the roundabout from your right. Okay. If they are signalling right, that's like good, it's positive, it's mandatory. But if you are turning right at a roundabout, you must have your signal on approach. If they are not signalling, make sure they are not going to your right, as in going past you.
Yeah.
So make sure they're not turning right. If you're not sure, wait. Does that make sense?
Just give space. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not going to learn anything by sitting here. So let's take a deep breath.
Not gonna lie.
And move off when you're ready. No, you'll be fine. You'll be completely fine. So we'll move off nice and gentle, so we get the feel of the car. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the always worst for me in the lessons in the start. That first minute or two is harder to start.
You'll be fine, don't worry. So nice and gentle as you move off, then at the end of the car park, turn left. That's lovely. Now come back to your side. That's it. So when we go to the end of the car park, we're turning left. Nice and slow with your hands. Lovely. So we're turning left at the end of this road, and because it's a closed junction, my side, left.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine, don't worry. Now we can see this red coloured car. That seems to be a problem. So what we need to do, we need to take what we call a swan neck, a very wide left turn.
Okay.
So look in your right door mirror and make sure nobody's going past you. When you move forward more to the right. So we need to take a wide, like the shape of a swan neck. That's it. That's it. Now hold your steering there and get to the end of the car park. A little bit more. And we're going to stop here. That's fine. Now when we turn left here, it's a really bad place to park a car, but it is what it is. What we need to do is we need to slowly go to the left. Now if you steer very quickly, what would happen to this car?
I would probably graze it on the other side. Yeah.
Okay, so what we need to do, we need to steer slower, but the closer we get to the silver car, the faster you need to steer. But we need to remain in control of the vehicle at all times, okay? Now there's nobody coming, so I want you to very, very slowly move and very gently start steering to the left, okay? When you're ready, I want you to move off. That's it, now steer. Gently keep steering, gently steer. That's right, keep steering, that's it, nice and slow. Don't give gas, don't give gas. That's it, nice and slow. That's lovely. Now gently straighten the car up. That's right, not bad. At the end of this road here, we're turning left. When you're steering, try and stay two-handed, okay? So make sure you're signalling, so everybody knows which way we're going. Now try and angle the car to the left. Keep steering, and stop. Okay, keep your steering where it was. Okay, you're looking to your left, but you're not at the end of the road, so you can't see. Try and focus on your position only, then focus on your observations. Now the reason for that is it's a closed junction, you can't see.
Yeah.
So you're more than likely going to come to a stop anyway. So if you try and position better to the left, you'll find looking both ways easier.
Yeah.
Okay? When you're ready, turn left. But you'll have to steer very quickly, okay? That's fine. That's fine. Now follow the road ahead. At the traffic lights, turn left. So now we don't need to steer as fast.
Yeah.
It's not necessary now. So when we turn left here, we'll then turn right at the second lights. So left here, right at the second lights.
Sorry. Okay. Right at the second lights.
I'll show you them in good time, don't worry. and you'll see here, the traffic light, there's only one lane. So if you're turning right, you'd position more to right. If you're turning left, you keep the car to left.
So even if it's green, you still try to observe that side as well?
No, you'll be fine. They'll stop moving. So when our lights are green, theirs is red. A quick glance and carry on. So we're turning left here. So when we turn left here, keep turning. I want you to land in lane 2. The reason why we're doing this is to pre-position. So for the next traffic lights, we are turning right. So once we go past this last street on the right, you'll start your routine. So mirrors and signal. Now, as we move forward, we're going to stop between the 2 yellow bollards, them arrows.
Yeah. So it's
So look in your right door mirror. Now slowly go into the middle here. So slow the car down. Stay to the right. More to the right. Now straighten up. A little bit to the left. And move forward. A little bit more to the left. And
yeah.
Now just because them lights are red doesn't mean these are. Because that's a crossing and it's 2 separate crossings. So you need to make sure that they're not moving before you go. Now look in your right door mirror. The bus is turning left, but he's stopped. You can go. He's stopped at the lights.
Oh.
That's what I meant by going quickly. Okay, so we're going to wait here until it's safe now, okay?
After this silver car? It's stopping, the car is stopping.
Go now then. That's fine. Okay, so that's why we should have got off the junction straight away.
Yeah.
If that happened on your driving test, unfortunately, you end up failing your test. So it's important that once you find a safe gap, that you utilise that. Now, what's the speed limit on the road that we're on? Any idea?
20.
That's fine. So keep your speed reasonable for where you are. So now we can see a set of traffic lights. As we're following the road ahead, we're going to maintain this speed. If we need to stop, we can see the white line and we'd stop there.
Yeah. It's kind of green.
Now, the mini roundabout, we're going ahead, second exit. Now, there's nobody on your right turning, so we can continue.
Is that the crossing?
And now observe the next crossing.
No, is there? No, he's not.
Now when we go ahead at the next traffic lights, look at the floor markings and look for the arrow pointing ahead.
Oh, okay, so we want to go ahead.
So it must be the one on the left. So left mirror check, go a little bit quicker, come into the left lane. That's right. Follow the road ahead. Now stay in this lane, don't go over the white line until you look in your right door mirror, now go over it. So you give them enough space to go past you. Now at the mini roundabout, we're going ahead, second exit. So if anyone from your right appears signalling right, you must stop for them. But anyone that you think is turning right. So look at him, you must stop for that car. That's lovely. Now look in your mirror and go. Yes, you can go. We're going ahead, that way.
Oh, sorry.
And this is a second exit. So each point that you come onto the roundabout is numbered.
Sorry, when you said going straight, I thought there was road there, and then there was the other one going.
That's why I pointed.
Yeah.
We do that sometimes. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. That really helps.
You're not the only one. Now the speed limit is back to 30. So you need to now travel at a speed that you think is appropriate for where you are. But don't travel faster than your control.
Yeah.
Because you're a learner car, you're a learner driver. We're not expecting you to drive always at the maximum speed. So as we approach these traffic lights, we are going ahead. So if you're driving examiner or me, if we don't tell you where to go, assume you are always going ahead.
Okay.
So you look at the floor markings for the white paint that shows the arrow ahead.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Mm-hmm. And you'll see that light went amber and it went red, but that was only for vehicles turning right. So if there's two sets of lights together, so now we need to signal left, we need to pull up on the left. So mirrors, signal left, reduce your speed and pull up anywhere on the left here. That's fine. Now signal right, right mirror check and move off when you're ready. Cancel your signal, well done. That's your first emergency vehicle. And now at the next traffic lights we are turning left where that cyclist is.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm. When we turn left at these traffic lights, we will then turn left at the end of that road. So turning left here, please. Do you feel how you're oversteering? Do you feel it?
Yeah.
That's because it's like you're turning the wheel, but you need to calculate how much you need to turn. At this junction here, turn left.
Did I check the mirror?
Mm-hmm. When we turn left here, we'll soon approach a roundabout. At the roundabout, we are turning right, second exit. So we're turning left here, then right at the roundabout.
Sorry.
Left here, then at the roundabout, we're turning right.
Okay.
And you can see the new speed limit you're going into, a sign on either side.
Yeah.
So at this roundabout that we'll see here, there's a roundabout here, we can see the sign on the left, you are turning right. So you must signal right to turn right here. Yep.
So is this...
Yep, that's a roundabout, the round little circle there.
So he need to give me...
Yes, give you way. You need to give way to anyone coming from there.
And I went right over it.
Reasonably, you try and go around that because it's so small. It's quite difficult. However, it was fine. It was okay.
20. So.
Is it 20 here?
Yeah, there is 20.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're doing okay. You're doing marvellous. I know what you're thinking, and I can read your mind. I can read.
She's excited.
I think we're all proud of you. Okay?
Oh,
you doing well.
thanks.
I think you're doing okay. This is where your friend used to work.
I used to work there.
Right?
Both,
Did you? Right?
all
I
my
see.
friends I met there.
Right. It's gone now. It's finished now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's done. It's done.
I don't think they needed a place that big anyway. To be honest, it's too big.
I don't know what the... It's kind of like I like the heritage of it and the story.
Yes. Yeah.
But like...
They must have got it on very cheap rent.
Yeah. I think they own it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it was the... So the story is it was Burton goes way back.
Yes.
You know, when the country was wearing all suits back in the 80s and even more. Sorry, slow down too much.
Now that vehicle on the right is going a little too quick. However, it doesn't affect you, the driver, because as long as you're travelling at a safe speed, that's not counted. However, if you're going like 5 miles an hour or 10 on this road, and the road's completely clear on your driving test, they would mark you down for hesitancy.
Yeah.
So you have to travel at speed that's appropriate. So now what we're going to do, at the end of this road, we are turning left. Now when we get to the end of this road to turn left, I'm going to point to the right to show you something, okay? I want you to be aware of it. So when we do turn left at the end of this road, I want you to look in the right directions and look for the right reasons. So at the end of this road here, we are turning left. Lovely. So when we angle, when you angle the car to the left, I want you to stop even if it's clear. So into the left-hand corner, a bit more to the left, follow the double yellow lines round and then come to a stop here. Now on your right, you'll find there's 2 lanes. The lane on the left will go past you.
Yeah.
The lane on the right goes round the roundabout.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So if there's nobody coming, I want you to turn left, please. And you'll see the new speed limit that
20,
you're going into.
Yeah.
I've got a question I'm going to ask you, but not now. I'm going to ask you when you park up. So we know the speed limit's 20 here. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, I'll ask you now, see if you know it. Okay, so when we come to the end of that road, why would it show 30 and then back to 20?
Because the next road where
Yeah.
they are turning is
Yes.
30.
That's right, yeah. So that road is 30. This one comes back into 20. I'm going to ask you to continue, but if I asked you to park up on the left, where would you park?
Where it's safe.
Would you just park the car on the road or park it where these other cars are parked?
No, not maybe there.
Nope,
That looks like no.
You'd always park on the left.
Okay.
And you'd always park on the road.
So here I would be
Yeah,
able to park.
you wouldn't park on the pavement. That's the pavement. There's no
Okay.
signage. So I assume that's the pavement. Although there's a white line
Yeah.
going all the way across, it doesn't tell me that I can park on the pavement. So if I'm not sure, I don't do it.
Okay.
We're now taking the next
But there's
road.
also no double yellow lines here.
Yeah, so you can park it there. We are now taking the next road on the right, which is just after the yellow bollard. So let's start your routine. And we are going to turn right into the road where that blue van is. So we'll have to stop for the blue coloured car. So slow the car down, go into the middle here, gently straighten the car up and stop where you are here. Lovely. Signal right again for me. When you think it's safe, then you turn.
After this car,
Okay.
I think it will be if I push.
Uh-huh.
Oops, sorry.
Deep breath, you'll be fine. And now follow the road ahead. At the end of this road, turn left.
20 so.
The speed is very reasonable for where you are. A bit more to the right. Carry on going round. Come back to your side. Come back to your side. Make sure your signal's on. And stop at the end. Keep steering. Stop at the end of your road. Okay, I've hit your brakes with you there. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you signal left for me, and if you keep your foot on the brake, I'll come off the foot brake. Okay. I'm not braking now. Now, can you see the problem you've got in terms of when you're emerging now?
Yeah, I cannot see as well.
So let's creep forward and let's have a look and stay at the same time.
And he's waiting for me. Should I do it?
Well,
now?
you have to go, don't you? Now straighten up and give some gas to go.
Sorry.
It's okay. We are now taking the next road on the right, but to turn right here we need to go into the centre box. So mirrors and signal, go into this middle box, then turn right. So into it fully, we're then going to turn right.
It's 20.
As we follow the road ahead, it's okay, you dealt with that quite well, well done. After these 2 or 3 cars on the left, I want you to pull up, in fact there's quite a few now. So let's take the next road on the right. It's not safe to park here. That's a lovely chair to sit in and watch traffic go by. So continue following the road ahead. At the end of the road, turn right. So make sure there's no road before your turn.
So is this the road?
No, at the end of the road, where that person is over there.
Mirrors.
That's lovely.
Are you doing ID?
And now, continue following the road ahead. Can you see them garages on the left?
Yeah.
I want you to go into the area and pull up.
Like this, or just a little bit?
Doesn't matter how you park in there. So we come off the main road. Anywhere on the left of it. Just have a couple of minute break. Anyway, bring the car in. Gently slow it down as you're going in. And straight in the car park. Anyway here, it's completely fine. Lovely. If you can park the car, handbrake on, relax a couple of minutes, okay? Okay, we've got 2 faults to fix. While you're doing what you're doing, there's 2 faults to fix. Would you know what they are?
Oversteering, like when I was turning into roads, sometimes I just did too much, and the car obviously swayed into other side or too much out. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Mirrors, because I definitely forgot.
Mirrors, I'm helping you with. I'm not
yeah.
too worried. Mirrors, I'm not too worried at the moment. I'm giving you a hand with them. No stress. As a learner driver, you're not going to be that good with mirrors yet anyway. So don't get too worried about that. Anything else?
Hesitating
Nope,
sometimes?
something
No?
else. Something about when you're driving on the road and you get to the end of yours.
I'm not doing the gentle braking sometimes.
That
Like
needs fixing, but there's something that you do. Let's say, for example, I say to you, at the end of this road, turn left. How would you position your car?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Left. I would try to position on the side
Okay.
and the
And what if you were
wheel,
turning right?
closer to middle.
Okay. And that's something you're not thinking about before you start your routine.
Yeah.
So before you start your routine, understand where the car will finish. What you're doing is you're doing your routine and thinking about where the car stops when you're hitting the brakes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so